Hi everyone, welcome back. I hope everyone had a safe Christmas, and I've also responded to 3 of your comments announcing that you have won, so congratulations, and I'm looking forward to seeing your swings. And for my final video of the year, I want to talk to everyone about casting. Now, I see this a lot with many students that I teach, so I'm going to be talking about the most common reason as to why it happens, what you must do to fix it, and obviously I'll give you a drill to give you the right feel. Be sure to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to see more golf related content. So when a player says they cast the club, they are usually referring to their arms spreading away from their bodies during transition into the downswing, in addition to their wrists extending out the club too early. This usually leads to inconsistent contact and a lack of power or speed. Whenever I see a player casting the club, they usually demonstrate a very similar pattern in the backswing. This is a combination of a lack of width due to poor arm positioning. Visually, this would look like the player's hands are positioned very close to their heads, whereas players with more width will tend to have more space between the hands and head. This usually happens when the trail arm is bent too excessively at the top of the swing. So let me explain in further detail. So when a player bends their trail arm very early in the backswing, what happens is that their hands stay very close to their chest. Okay, so their width is very, very narrow. So when that happens, that's why you see the hands very close to my right ear or my head, to where the players with more width will tend to keep their trail arm a bit more extended. There will still be a slight bend in the arm, but if you can maintain more width in the backswing, then you'll be able to see a bit more space between my head and my hands. Okay, now the problem with a player that has a very narrow width during the backswing is that the first move that they will tend to make from the top of their swing is more of a spreading motion this way. Okay, so the pattern that you'll often see with casters of the club is a very narrow swing arc in the backswing, and then a very wide transition into the downswing. If you can start off the backswing with more width, then there's just less chance for you to have anything spreading out even further in the downswing. So if you feel like you are a player that demonstrates this pattern in the backswing and in transition, then there are 3 things that you will need to feel in order for you to get back on track. Okay, so the first is, since you have a very narrow width in the backswing to where your trail arm kind of bends too excessively, then obviously you'll need to feel more width. So you'll need to feel like your hands are spread out further away from you in the backswing, to where your hands are positioned outside of your trail foot. Okay, so if you can get in that position, then that'll keep the trail arm more extended. Okay, and that will discourage you from actually spreading things out as you start your downswing. The second is that you want to feel a sharper angle between your lead arm and the shaft. This will discourage or make it more difficult for your hands to spread out the shaft or extend up the shaft early as well. And 3 is you want to transition into the downswing much faster. Casters of the golf club will tend to feel very wide and feel like they're dumping all their speed kind of early on in the downswing. So if you feel wide, a sharper angle, and you transition into the downswing much faster, you'll be able to hold on to a lot more lag, and you're going to encourage yourself to drive the handle of the club much faster and much more towards the target, instead of somebody that spreads it early and the butt end or the grip end actually slows down in relation to the club head. To a lot of people, this may feel like you're trying to hit a half swing really, really far, but here is a drill to help you get the right feel. Okay, so for this drill you'll need a wall. So I don't have a wall to use in this bay, but I'm improvising by just setting up a pool noodle just straight up and down like that. So that will represent the wall there. Second, you want to make sure that you grip down onto the club head end of the shaft, just so you don't hit the wall by mistake. So when setting this up, right, standing next to the wall here, you want to position your hands kind of where your lead arm is parallel with the ground. Hands are about chest height. Okay, now you want to set yourself up so that your hands are kind of outside of your right foot, just so that you have enough width. Okay, and you want to create more of a sharp angle between the shaft and your lead arm. Okay, so now when setting up, the butt end, or this side of the club, should be about a foot or so away from the wall. Okay, now you're just going to practice going from this position down into the downswing like this. Okay, now if you do cast the club or extend things out too early, you're going to want to do this, and you're probably going to touch the wall at some point. So your goal is, as you transition down, you want to make sure that this end of the club does not touch the wall. Okay, so if you can do that a few times, or for a few reps, that will give you a feeling of what it's like to not cast the club or early extend in your downswing. Thanks so much for watching. I hope I gave you a better understanding of what the root causes may be. So give these drills a try and let me know what you think in the comments down below. Be sure to follow me on my Instagram at Jonathan K. Moss. And other than that, see you guys next week.